Today we finally got our hands on the brand new RedMagic 11 Pro series. And you already know, whenever a new RedMagic drops, it usually claims the title of the most powerful phone we've tested. This time is no different. With the latest Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 on board, this generation is all about pushing performance even further. In this video, we're checking out both the RedMagic 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Plus to see exactly what sets them apart. After that, we're going to stress test the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 with one of the most demanding PC games out there and see what it's really capable of. By the way, I've already uploaded the unboxing and first impressions of the RedMagic 11 Pro Plus Golden Saga Edition. It's a seriously good-looking device. If you haven't seen that yet, the link is waiting for you in the description. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. Now, let's get back to the phones. The biggest change this year is obvious the moment you look at the back. The 11 Pro Plus features a large circular ring in the center, and inside it, you can actually see liquid moving around. Yes, that's the new water cooling system introduced in the Pro Plus. There's a real water channel built into the phone filled with fluorinated coolant, and a piezoelectric ceramic micropump keeps the liquid circulating throughout the device. Visually, it's super eye-catching. Now, it's not exactly the same as traditional PC water cooling. Think of it more like a VC vapor chamber that uses liquid movement to spread heat evenly across the chassis. According to RedMagic, this setup can reduce temperatures by around 2 degrees. What makes it even cooler is that they intentionally left small air bubbles inside the channel so you can actually see the coolant flowing. From the flat camera module to the built-in fan, the clean transparent back design, and now this liquid cooling vapor chamber, RedMagic always adds these functional yet visually exciting elements. They're not just for show either. They genuinely help enhance the gaming experience while adding some emotional value for fans. Speaking of cooling, both the Pro and Pro Plus still come with active cooling and a through-flow airflow channel, but this time the airflow system has been upgraded. And finally, it supports IPX8 waterproofing, which fixes one of the biggest complaints from previous generations. Flip to the front and you'll see the familiar under-display camera paired with a large flat display. However, this time both models are upgraded with BOE X10 grade material. It's a 6.85-inch screen with a 2668 by 1216 resolution and a 144 Hz refresh rate. There's also a major upgrade to the Touch IC. RedMagic has replaced it with a new solution, and hopefully this addresses the long-standing issues with touch dropouts and latency. We'll confirm that in our upcoming retail unit comparison review. Battery life is another big highlight. The RedMagic 11 Pro now packs a massive 8,000 mAh battery. RedMagic has always been generous with battery capacity, and this is the first time we're seeing an 8,000 mAh battery in a flagship phone paired with 80-watt fast charging. The 11 Pro Plus, because it needs space for the liquid cooling module and 80 watts wireless charging, comes with a slightly smaller 7,500 mAh battery, upgrades the wired charging to 120 watts. We've already run our battery life test on the RedMagic 11 Pro Media Unit. In our 5G battery life 3.5 ranking, it achieved an impressive 13 hours and 29 minutes, currently topping our battery endurance chart. For the final retail unit performance, stay tuned for our next generation battery comparison review. Now let's talk about what really matters for a gaming phone: gaming performance. Running traditional mobile games is no challenge for a device like this anymore. And comparing power efficiency on a media unit doesn't tell the full story. So instead of focusing on regular mobile games today, we decided to push things further. Everyone knows that the biggest improvement with the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 is its extreme performance under high power consumption. So what really pushes a phone to its limits? PC gaming. Earlier this year, we managed to run Myth Wukong on the RedMagic 10S Pro. The frame rate wasn't amazing, but the fact that it even ran was impressive. Now, half a year later, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 has been on the market for some time, and its GPU drivers have been further optimized for PC gaming. On top of that, this chip delivers stronger peak performance than the previous generation. So with the cooling back clip attached and God of Destruction mode fully activated, can we get even smoother PC gameplay? That's exactly what we tested using the RedMagic 11 Pro Plus. At the moment, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5 drivers offer very limited support for DX12 games. Performance and smoothness still can't match the 8 Gen3 platform running open source drivers. Because of that, most of our testing today focused on DX11 titles, where the 8 Elite Gen5 truly shows its strength, and the results are promising. Some games performed significantly better than before. For example, in God of War 4, running at 1600 by 720 resolution with low settings and 50% FSR, the RedMagic 11 Pro was able to maintain over 40 frames per second, and in certain scenes it even exceeded 50 FPS. The experience felt smooth overall with almost no noticeable graphical glitches. So yes, this generation is clearly pushing mobile hardware further into serious PC gaming territory, and we're just getting started. Just 2 years ago, running God of War 4 on a phone meant dealing with single-digit frame rates. Fast forward to today, and it's actually playable. That alone shows how far mobile performance has come. But with the RedMagic 11 Pro powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, it's not as simple as just switching on God of Destruction mode and calling it a day. The reality is the 8 Elite Gen 5 can pull some seriously high peak power, and because of its pop-heat packaging, heat transfer isn't very efficient. That leads to extremely high instant temperatures. Even with extra cooling support, the phone can't sustain that level of output for long. So even in God of Destruction mode, clock speeds eventually drop. When both the CPU and GPU are pushed to the limit at the same time, they start fighting over power and cooling, which actually hurts performance. That's why getting the best frame rates in PC games comes down to careful tuning for each title. For God of War 4, we capped the GPU at 967 MHz to free up more power for the CPU, and that gave us the smoothest results. Total power draw sat around 16 watts, which honestly isn't even the most extreme scenario. So now it's time to bring out the real boss, Black God Wukong. We challenged him once earlier this year, and today we're back to see if things have improved. Right after loading in, there's still plenty of stutter due to shader compilation, but as gameplay continues, things begin to settle. At 1600 by 720 resolution, low graphics, and 50% NXS2, we're hanging around the village entrance at roughly 30 FPS. Sometimes it dips into the low 20s, but overall it's noticeably smoother than what we saw on the Snapdragon 8 Elite earlier this year. Let's fight Silver Fox again. Wow. This already feels smoother than last time. It's still barely in the playable zone, and you can feel some micro stutters, but we managed to beat Silver Fox on our very first attempt. Hitting 20 plus FPS might not sound amazing, but compared to the 10-something FPS we had before, this is a massive improvement. Our tuning approach for Black Monkey on the 8 Elite Gen 5 is completely different from God of War. Because the game runs at such a low resolution, the GPU becomes the main bottleneck even at 850 MHz. So we deliberately downclocked the CPU to around 2.7 to 2.1 GHz, letting the GPU stay at full speed consistently. That's where we got the highest frame rates. And since it can handle Black Monkey, other Unreal Engine 5 games naturally aren't a problem either. Take this year's new hit, Expedition 33. Even Ps feel the pressure from this game, but in our testing, the 8 Elite Gen 5 still manages to run it with respectable performance. At 1600 by 720, medium-low settings, and 50% FSR, we're seeing over 40 FPS while exploring the map. Once the initial shader loading phase finishes, gameplay becomes quite smooth. During combat, it stays above 30 FPS, which makes it totally playable. Because both the CPU and GPU are running flat out in Expedition 33, power consumption also hits a new peak. At one point, total system draw even exceeded 18 watts. That's pretty wild, especially considering the CPU is already heavily throttled. But there's really no other option. To keep temperatures under control, you'd basically need liquid nitrogen. Of course, if we lower expectations a bit, like dropping graphics settings or locking the frame rate to 30, the phone can run without overwhelming the cooling system. This works especially well in less demanding titles, such as the recently released remastered Sky Spectre. With the GPU locked at 726 MHz, it still runs smoothly with very fluid frame pacing. Personally, I think with the current performance level of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen5, trying to hit 60 FPS in PC games on a phone is already pushing the absolute limit. But aiming for a stable 30 FPS, that's much more realistic. And with strong cooling like you get on the RedMagic, it's achievable without stressing the hardware too hard. So now I'm curious, what do you think about the RedMagic 11 Pro and Pro Plus? In my opinion, RedMagic is a fascinating brand. They're truly different in the gaming phone space. Even with limited competition, they keep experimenting with bold ideas, from under-display cameras to built-in fans, clean full-screen back designs, and now liquid cooling. Some of these features are more about emotional appeal, while others genuinely improve performance. But either way, you can clearly see their commitment to standing out and trying new things. In today's increasingly copy-paste smartphone market, that mindset is definitely refreshing. As for pricing, the base version of the RedMagic 11 Pro Plus starts at 7,699 yuan in China, which comes out to roughly 820 pounds in the UK and about 115 US dollars. And with that, we're wrapping up this hands-on review. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, save, share, and subscribe, and join our tech team for more awesome tech content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.